Technology has its share of growth around the world. From the day electricity was discovered to the day we first arrived on the moon. Well, that one is still in question by many who believe is a myth and no one actually landed on the moon. To put things as simple as I could, technology has indeed revolutionized our entire way of life. And so much so that for those who have access to more complex tech gadgets than the general public, well, let's just say we all know who's in control. Hello everyone and good day, my name is John. In this particular video, I like to go in a little deep into a subject that isn't spoken much about in the tech world. In fact, even if it has been spoken on before, many people today just don't seem to care. And you may perhaps be asking yourself, what are you talking about, John? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic of discussion is what I like to call the new brain, the cell phone. And before we get on with this video, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Without further ado, let's begin. Since the beginning of time, mankind has always been very ambitious in new discoveries. We are a species of evolution, growth, and power. Safe to say, we have a need to control. It is like an arousal, for example.
No! Wow!
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah?
Well, that might be a bad example, but where maintaining others feeling inferior for the lack of knowledge makes us feel much more superior. Handing them just enough to enjoy but not enough to gain some of the success creators have achieved is substantially acceptable, right? And this is looked over as doing great things for the rest of humanity as long as they don't learn the ways to financial freedom. Oh boy. Simply allow the ones in power to handle the more complex stuff and just be comfortable being mind control. Okay, the point is, we have all been hardwired with the new brain's functionalities right under our noses. Now check this out, because by the end of this video, you could be mind blown for what you're about to hear. So here we go. The very first cell phone was invented by a man named Marty Cooper. He was born in Chicago, Illinois in December 26 of 1928 to Ukrainian Jewish immigrants. This was all during the Great Depression. As a child, he was very fascinated by science and technology, and as he grew older into his teen years, he went on to attending the Crane Technical High School and soon afterwards the Illinois Institution of Technology. There he would graduate with a bachelor's degree in science. Shortly after, Marty would go on to serve his country in the Navy SEALs as a submarine officer during the Korean War. After the war, he joined the Teletype Corporation, where he worked developing handheld radios for quite some time. He then resigned from Teletype Corporation and began working at Motorola in 1954. Cooper would later earn a master's degree in electrical engineering from IIT in 1957, and he continued working at Motorola, creating many projects involving wireless communications. Now, one thing I will say is that I admire creative minds. By all means, I have no issue with innovation, so long as it doesn't conflict with our everyday life, distracting humanity from enjoying the nature of our very being. Of course, we know all creative minds often take contracts for others' greedy ways and their agendas. You see, Marty Cooper may have just done two things. One, made our lives better to connect with others around the globe. But secondly, he also may have possibly and perhaps unintentionally projected the very chip we all have been fearing for decades. And for many of you believers out there, you all know exactly what I'm referring to. Quick disclaimer, this video is solely for educational purposes, and you can very much do your own research and form your own opinions. I, by all means, am not trying to let you know what's the truth and what's not. I'm just giving you all my humble opinion. Thank you all, and now let's continue with this video. Marty Cooper may be considered the father of cell phones, but today the man fears that his invention may just have negative side effects, making folks today socially addicts as bad as heroin. Privacy is out the window, as the saying goes. Now, if you'd like to read more on this article, I will have the links in the description. And let me say, it may appear that he does contradict himself on here, because while he is saddened by the folks' addiction, he is rather even more concerned with privacy if you read carefully, while also implying how for education and science his 50-year-old invention has yet to see true evolution for the good of mankind. I will admit, there is truth to his original intentions and feelings, and again, This is a very controversial topic depending on which side of the fence you stand on, but let's continue on. Today, as of the recording of this video, there are more than 6.92 billion smartphones users globally, which by 2025 it is expected to reach 7.34 billion. I think it's smart to say even toddlers will soon walk around with cell phones if they aren't already doing so now.
I've got to deal with the KID.
So quick question on today's video. Why am I titling this video The New Brain? Well, for starters, since the invention of cell phones, they have evolved and gotten much more smarter throughout the decades. And that has made many of us, in all honesty, become a bit more dumber. Now, this isn't to insult anyone's intelligence at all. But think about this. Before these devices we constantly carry and depend on so much, there was a time where we weren't dependable on them and we used a bigger percentage of our own brain pushing our intellectual growth. And yeah, of course, there are still geniuses and common sense folks around, but I'm referring to the minority in poverty who are already dealing with terrible circumstances, with many lacking the right education and the time to actually educate themselves because of the predicament they're already in. And so they don't have the motivation to read and strive for much. So I don't believe smartphones helps them develop their brains in any way when answers are provided for them. In fact, it is absorbing our energies to a great level without us even noticing it. Do you all have any idea the tremendous amount of energy we put on our phones, tablets, creating content, social media on a daily basis? Stuck on screen time for hours? All of that radioactivity is just sucking our life away. And we are just surrendering like fools because many unaware people will have tremendous side effects and that can truly put a toll on you physically and mentally. You'll start becoming forgetful. And your only source for answers is and will be the very smart device you once owned. Because guess what? It now owns you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your new brain. Now, I have observed my surroundings through a small project of mine, where I literally used my cell phone a bit less for a week, just to see the actual world around me. And let me just say, no one is paying attention to what's truly going on around them. Absolutely no one. Well, maybe a few, but the majority aren't. And I include myself because at times I caught myself nervous walking around anxiously to just check on my social media profile. You know, likes, dislikes, comments. It has truly become the new heroin, like the best of times for that matter. Even worse though, everyone is doing it. I've watched more incidents in cars occur because of this invention. No one speaks in plans for dates anymore. They text, tweet about it, emojis the messages. No verbal communication except being on their cell phones, posting for social media. Photos of their food, taking pictures while they're on dates, before actually eating anything. Texting friends also while on the day. And just to simplify things, people just don't express their true feelings face to face anymore. They emoji one another. Truth be told, smart devices has killed any true excitement and enjoyment of these simple pleasures in life. I mean, think about it. You're on a date, you're texting each other right next to each other. Why don't you just talk? Now, not all is bad. There are positives, of course. Communication. It has helped us in numerous ways in case of emergencies, and there's applications that actually are vital to our health. But what I'm saying here is it has taken us where we just don't know how to live without it. Hence, the new brain. Now, is Marty Cooper to blame? Well, it depends where you stand in this debate, because I could tell you this. His inventions were truly to help people, but the agenda of the ones in control will always be there. With every technological progress, there will always be greedy people who want to control it for their convenience and gain. The only way to put an end to this new brain is for us to take charge, instead of letting the machine take control of us. The meta world is here, ladies and gentlemen, and it has already begun. My question to you all is, where do you stand? Has the chip already been installed in all of us? Is this all a myth? Let me know in the comments, what is your take on this matter? I'd love to hear all about it. Until next time, I'm John, and this is Products That Rock. Thanks for watching. Peace, guys.